Welcome to Mystic Eternal Enigmas, where we unravel the greatest mysteries of the ancient world. Dive in and explore the secrets that time has yet to reveal. In a dusty, forgotten corner of southern Texas, just beyond the border separating the United States from Mexico, stands an old and storied building, the Brownsville Inn. Built between the late 19th and early 20th century, this inn is much more than a simple haven for travelers. For decades, it has attracted attention not only for its rich and often tragic history, but also for the chilling tales that surround it. The Brownsville Inn has become a magnet for paranormal investigators and curious souls alike, all eager to uncover the truth behind the ghostly apparitions reported by those who've stayed within its haunted walls. Among these spectral sightings, the most well-known are the ghosts of Civil War soldiers, former owners of the inn, and even some of the slaves and workers who toiled there over a century ago. The inn's halls exude an air of eerie antiquity, as though the tragic events of the past have never fully dissipated. Local legends speak of ghosts who materialize and vanish, shadows that glide silently through the night, and presences that seem eager to communicate with the living. Most famously, the apparitions include Confederate and Union soldiers who, despite dying over a century ago, seem unwilling to leave the battlefield behind. Alongside these soldiers are the spirits of the inn's former owners, some of whom met violent and untimely deaths. In this detailed account, we will delve deeper into the history, mysteries, and ghost stories that have turned the Brownsville Inn into one of the most enigmatic and haunted locations in the United States. The origins of the Brownsville Inn date back to the years immediately following the American Civil War. Built in 1870 by Thomas Wallace, a British businessman who had relocated to Texas in search of new opportunities, the building was initially designed as a place of respite for weary travelers. Brownsville, located near the Rio Grande, had become a crucial transit point for merchants, settlers, and soldiers, as well as a gateway for those seeking to cross into Mexico. The inn, at that time a modest two-story wooden structure, had large windows that overlooked the vast arid plains that stretched into the horizon. The ground floor housed a common room where travelers could enjoy simple meals, while the upper floor was dedicated to guest rooms. It was a rustic but secure refuge for those in need of rest before continuing their long journeys across the wild Texas landscape. However, the relative peace of the inn was soon shattered by the arrival of war. During the Civil War, 1861 to 1865, Brownsville became a key location due to its proximity to the Mexican border. Both Confederate and Union forces sought to control the region, as it was a crucial route for cotton trade and smuggling. The Brownsville Inn, which at the time was little more than a country house, was repeatedly commandeered by both armies and used as a makeshift base. It is said that the basement of the inn served as a hiding place for Confederate supplies, including weapons and food, and that some of the rooms witnessed brutal interrogations and intense skirmishes. Many local legends speak of the inn being used as a temporary prison for captured Union soldiers. These men, held in deplorable conditions, often succumbed to their injuries, hunger, or illness. Their restless spirits are said to be among the first reported ghostly sightings at the inn, wandering the halls in search of justice or peace. After the war ended, Thomas Wallace attempted to restore the inn to its original purpose as a place of hospitality, but the scars of the conflict ran deep. The inn was the site of numerous tragedies and misfortunes, many of which continued to haunt it for decades to come. One of the most persistent and chilling legends tied to the Brownsville Inn involves the apparitions of Civil War soldiers. Numerous guests and staff members have reported seeing ghostly figures dressed in Confederate or Union uniforms, silently walking the hallways and rooms of the inn, particularly in the dead of night. One of the most famous spirits is known as the Nameless Soldier, a young pale figure often seen near the main staircase. According to one of the many legends, this soldier was brutally tortured and killed during an interrogation by Union forces right inside the inn. His captors were seeking information about a Confederate weapons shipment, but the young soldier refused to reveal anything. He died from his wounds, alone in a dark corner of the inn's basement. Guests claim to have seen his ghost appear, sometimes with a look of agony, other times as a menacing presence, seemingly unable to find peace. Many guests have described hearing the sound of clanking chains and heavy footsteps emanating from the basement. When curious investigators ventured down to explore, they found the room empty, but the air had become frigid, as though an unseen presence had passed through. The sudden drop in temperature is a common feature in paranormal accounts, and the Brownsville Inn is no exception. This chilling effect is most frequently experienced in the rooms that were once used as interrogation chambers for prisoners. Another particularly eerie manifestation is the apparition of a group of soldiers, seen by multiple witnesses, seated around a table in the common room. The group consists of 5 or 6 men, all clad in gray Confederate uniforms. Their faces are gaunt, dirty with mud and blood, and they appear to be locked in an endless, heated discussion. According to local psychics who have visited the inn, these spirits may be linked to a tragic event in which a group of Confederate soldiers was ambushed and killed by Union forces while seeking shelter at the inn. These ghosts seem oblivious to the living around them, endlessly repeating their spectral routine night after night. In addition to the soldiers, the Brownsville Inn is said to be haunted by the spirits of its former owners, who never fully left the building even in death. 2 figures in particular stand out among the accounts: Elias Foster and Clara Wallace. Elias Foster purchased the inn in the early 1900s, during a period when the building had fallen into disrepair. Foster was known for his cold demeanor and ruthless business practices. It is said that he treated his employees with harshness and was obsessed with maintaining complete control over his properties. He died mysteriously in 1912, right inside the inn. Some believe his death was the result of a business rivalry, while others speculate that it may have been murder. In any case, his spirit seems to have remained tethered to the inn. Many visitors report seeing the figure of a tall, severe-looking man, dressed in old-fashioned, formal clothing, wandering the inn's rooms with a determined stride. Often, this apparition is seen standing near the fireplace in the common room, staring into the flames as if brooding over unfinished business. Some witnesses have described seeing him vanish the moment they attempted to approach him. Staff members also speak of a heavy, oppressive feeling in the hallways and rooms that once served as Foster's private office. Clara Wallace, the wife of the inn's founder Thomas, is another presence said to haunt the inn. Clara died in 1885 after succumbing to a sudden illness, but according to legend, she never wanted to leave the inn. Some guests have reported seeing a woman in white, gliding soundlessly through the halls or appearing suddenly in their rooms. Those who have encountered Clara's ghost describe a melancholy figure, often seen gazing out the windows as if waiting for someone or something that will never return. Over the years, the Brownsville Inn's reputation as a haunted site has grown, drawing not only curious tourists, but also paranormal researchers and skeptics. Modern investigations have unearthed numerous pieces of evidence supporting the inn's haunted status. Teams of investigators equipped with high-tech tools such as EMF, electromagnetic field, detectors, and EVP, electronic voice phenomena, recorders have captured unexplainable anomalies. In one particularly eerie investigation, a team of researchers recorded a chilling EVP in the inn's basement. The low, gravelly voice of a man was heard repeating the phrase, "Leave this place." The voice was captured in the very room where Union soldiers had once been held prisoner. The investigators, unable to explain the origin of the sound, quickly abandoned the basement, citing an overwhelming sense of oppression and dread. In another famous incident, one of the inn's security cameras recorded the apparition of a shadowy figure gliding across the second-floor hallway, seemingly floating just above the ground. The inn staff confirmed that no one had been on that floor at the time, adding to the mystery of the ghostly figure. Even after multiple reviews of the footage, no rational explanation could be found. Recent sightings continue to report strange phenomena. Guests hear footsteps above their heads when no one is upstairs, doors slam shut on their own, and strange shadows move just beyond the edge of sight. Despite modern renovations and technological advancements, the Brownsville Inn remains a place suspended between the living and the dead, where the spirits of the past seem to relive their final moments over and over again. The Brownsville Inn defies logic and understanding. Its walls are steeped in tales of pain, conflict, and loss, and the souls of soldiers, prisoners, and owners appear unwilling to leave this place of torment. Its history is that of a building imbued with tragedy, continuing to exert a sinister allure for those seeking contact with the supernatural. Whether it's mere suggestion or true paranormal activity, one thing is certain. Anyone who steps foot in the Brownsville Inn can't help but feel a presence, a mysterious, unsettling energy that seems to watch from every shadowed corner. Thanks for watching Mystic Eternal Enigmas. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more deep dives into history's greatest mysteries. See you in the next adventure.